Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'm gonna talk about two games. One, Rage 2, and the second one is A Plague Tale Innocence. So without wasting time, let's begin. Let's talk about the product, the game, A Plague Tale Innocence. So A Plague Tale Innocence, it's a stealth game. Stealth games, if you don't know, are the games where you don't go head on head with your enemy. You have to hide, disguise, and use other tactics like a spy tactics to defeat your enemy. It's not like you have a gun and you are just standing in front of your enemy and shooting your enemies, or having a cover and shooting. So you have to keep your presence a secret in stealth games. And Plague, this game is one of them. So it's a unique storyline in a stealth game and by the name, everyone might have already know that it is based on the period when plague was around. So it's a great concept to have a game on how to survive the disease and the other difficulties that were people facing at that time. So product wise, it looks great. And so let's talk about the pricing now. So pricing, you can buy this game for $44.99. I know it's less than what normally games are cost, but there's a reason which I would explain when I'm talking about the points and stuff. So yeah, for pricing, they are selling just one copy of the Plague. There is no any additional copies of it. And so let's talk about the promotion. So for promotion, Plague, the game is as usual, YouTubers are doing their best to promote it. And for now, the developers were on E3 too, so they have shown the game on E3 many times. So E3 and YouTubers, that's the only promotion tactic that's been seen by the game, by the developers. There's nothing else yet done by the developers. So that's all for the promotion. For plays, you can buy Plague at any store, but you can only play the game on PS4, Xbox One, and Windows. So they are not releasing the game on Switch and or on Steam. So that's the only three. They are only targeting those three consoles. So that's all for the Plague right now. So let's say Plague is a little weak game, but it has the most unique concept amongst every other stealth game existing. Like, you are not basically going head on head with a gun or something, which mostly stealth games provide. That's all for the Plague right now. So let's talk about Rage 2. Now, Rage 2 as a product, it's a first-person shooter game, and story-wise, it's not super different from any other first-person shooter. So basically, it's about how it's like, I think a war has happened, or something's wrong has gone wrong on the earth, and now you are fighting against mutants and other organizations to survive. So that's the product. And so let's talk about the pricing. So for pricing, Rage 2 have two CDs available, standard edition and deluxe, and they are according to, like I have told in my previous videos, the standard would be $59.99 and deluxe would be $79.99, which is normal pricing. Rage 2 is in news for in the air for quite a while, and on E3 they have been announced, and YouTubers are doing their jobs too. So nothing serious from the promotion side anywhere, and that's for the promotion. For promotion, they are not doing anything like big, giant, or they're promoting it for years and supporting it. It's not like a big giant that would attract new players to it, but they are targeting the old players that are already playing these type of games. For plays, Rage 2 is gonna be releasing on PS4, Xbox One, and Windows, and that's all for the plays. You can play if you want to play the game. You either have to have a PS4, Xbox One, or Windows, which is a great thing. Now, most of the times, what I have been asked by people are why major games like big games are not released on Switch. The reason is Switch doesn't use a CD, it uses a little chip, and it's hard to put stuff on it than putting it on a CD. So that's why mostly games are not released on Switch, and that's a big problem. Not a problem, but it just some games do adjust their graphics and stuff and put and throw it on Switch, but mostly companies don't like to do that. They just want to they don't want to make too many changes. That's why most of the time Switch doesn't have any good games. So that's all for the Rage 2. So let's talk about the points. Who's winning in this race? Is Rage 2 winning, or the Plague Tale Innocence is winning? Let's go.
So let's talk about the points. Let's get to the points now. For product, the point goes to Plague because it's a unique game in its genre. Like, they're doing a total different thing as a stealth game. Like I told you before, that stealth games are when you are not going head on head to the end with your enemies. You're hiding or disguising, or and it's basically sneak attacking and reaching to the end. You have to sneak, you have to hide, disguise. In order to continue in the story, you have to hide from the danger instead of just going head on head with the danger. So it's a unique product in itself, because in most of the stealth games you do use some kind of weapons to defeat the enemies. But as I told, the game is basically about a sister and a brother, and it's about how they are fighting with these plagues and other people and surviving through this period. So it would be a great adventure, and it would be great to see how they are gonna do it. So that's why the point goes to Plague and not the Rage, because the Rage, it's a first person shooter, and they are not doing something different in this genre that has never been done. So it's like a old thing but a little polished. That's why Rage 2 doesn't get the point. So let's talk about promotion point. So for promotion, I will give half and half to both games, because they haven't done something like extraordinary that stands out, that make them stand out. And they are not like super big games that would be like, they're developed by some studios that are not like big, largely known, and they both have like used YouTubers and E3. Besides that, like, they haven't done something different. Like, for example, like, they haven't organized their own events and stuff like that. It's just like using E3 and YouTubers to go in front of the public. That's why I gave 0.5 and 0.5 to both games. So let's talk about the plays now. For plays, again, I'm gonna give 0.5 and 0.5 to both games, because they are releasing on both games are releasing on three consoles, 3 platforms, and there's nothing different that won't make them go over each other. So they are like, it's basically they're on the same track in regards to the plays, and they are not doing anything different. So for plays, the point goes to half and half point goes to both games. Now let's talk about the pricing point. For pricing point, both games have done a brilliant job on pricing their games. Like I told you, like Plague, they have priced lower than what normally games do, like $60 or $59.99, And the reason they did that was because stealth games are not too popular, and um, people are not attracted that much to them. And so that's why if there was a low price on it, people would come and buy it on just based off having a low price, and not like they either like it or not, they just come for pay a low price and play a nice game. So that's a really great job on pricing. But the point for the pricing doesn't go to Plague, it goes to Rage 2, because they have two copies, deluxe and standard pack, and they both are normally priced like 559.99 for standard and 79.99 for deluxe. And Rage 2, as I told you, is a first person shooter, so people are automatically gonna go towards them. And also one thing that makes this game a little more unique, and that helps it with the pricing, is that the features that in it that supports it. So like there's one thing that you can do in Rage 2 is you get powers. So one of the power that was shown was similar to Black Panther's kinetic blast, that you can just punch on the ground and you create this blast that blow away the enemies. So that attracts more and more customers towards it. So that's why for the pricing and having a deluxe pack in there, so that means you get more powers or some more unique weapons. So that's a more great job on pricing. So that's why the pricing point goes to the Rage 2, not Plague, because they are having only one CD, which is the standard edition, and they are having a low price. So for the pricing point, the 1 point goes to the Rage 2. So now let's talk about how many points they altogether have. So Plague have 2 points, and the other game, Rage 2, have 2 points. So it's a tie. But how do we break this tie now? Let's talk about what advantages they have through their publishers. Now many people, many gamers are confused in who's a developer and a publisher. They both are different. So developers are people who develop the game, the people who have done the coding stuff and the designing. They have created the game they sit in the office and they worked on the computers to create the game. And publishers are the people who take the game from computers to the customers. They do all the promotion stuff, they spend money on the promotion and other things through which they reach out to the public with the game. So those are the publishers. So for Rage 2, their publishers are Bethesda Softworks, and this company have done many successful games in the past. So and they are already familiar with what they are doing in this genre. They have done many first person shooter games. For an example, for the games they have published, Fallout 4, Fallout 76 was published by them, Dishonored was published by them. So they know what they are doing, and they have already achieved success in doing those the publishing work. So Rage 2 have the publishers of Rage 2, they have a good chance of getting in the market. Now let's talk about the Plague and their publishers. Their publishers are Focus Home Interactives, and by the looks of when I looked at their games, they have a really less experience on doing stealth games publishment. They have published games which are like simulations or first person shooting games, but they have really less experience on doing a stealth game, so which would be a great disadvantage. So for this bonus point, Rage 2 wins the point. So because they have their publishers are already have so much experience in publishing and promoting the game and strengthening the game to get it to be successful in the market. So that's why the bonus point goes to the Rage 2.
This is it.
So let's talk about the conclusion. For conclusion, Rage 2 will do better in the market compared to the Plague Tale. But
Hugo,
if
wake
Plague
up.
Tale's publishers
Come on,
would
we'll walk from
the
here.
reason if they
It'll
are
warm you
like
up.
choosing
If we
a
follow the
different genre
aqueduct, we should arrive at
and
Chateau
nobody knows
d'Ambrose
what
before
they
nightfall.
have done in
What
that
the
genre,
noise?
they could
Nothing.
surprise people
It's just
easily,
frogs, Hugo.
and they can like easily do. They have
He seems
the
well.
one thing they have
Let's
to
keep
focus
our
on
fingers
is
crossed.
do something that surprise every gamer in the market, every person in their market, in their target market.
Aren't you
If
cold?
they are able to
A
surprise
little,
them
yes.
with
Hugo doesn't
some
seem
kind
to
of
mind.
stunt or some kind of
He's keeping himself warm.
promotion tactic,
Yes,
they can easily
but he's too
defeat
far for my liking.
Rage 2 publishers, and they can be successful in no time. So that's all for today's video, and I'll meet you next time with 2 more games. Till that, have a great day.